the question I had was, why wasn't Jem accused of killing Bob Ewell, and like, how would he different if he was of a different race?
Well, first off, I'd like to say that I partially think it was because he's a minor, and that had a big influence on it. But if he was of a different race, that would have been a huge factor. That it would be just a mini Tom Robinson case. It would be another one. So that would have made a huge influence.
Wait, if it was Tom Robinson's kid, you know how Tom Robinson, since he was convicted, he's going to be executed.
Yeah.
Would they do the same for the kid if it was Tom Robinson's kid?
I would hope not, but because that would be messed up. But South.
Then what would they do to him?
Well,
Ryan would execute him.
I'm sure he'd be sent like some kind of juvie of
Yeah.
some sort, because he's a minor.
But I would like to think that humans wouldn't execute a child.
Yeah, they would.
I know, but that's the sad truth. But I would hope that
I think
they wouldn't. But it's probably the sad
I'm
truth
just
that they
kidding.
would.
You can go.
I believe John had a point before you two.
I would say in this time period, like kind of like Ryan was saying, age had a factor, but it seems that race ends up being the biggest factor. Where, because say Jem was black, he would have gotten accused, but because he was white, he had in a minor he didn't. Even if he was a minor and he was black, he still would have gotten a problem because we're more afraid of the race than we were of the age back then. So it was the race had the biggest factor.
Well, I think that if you set aside the factor of race, that Jem wouldn't have been convicted even if like he had done it, just because he's Atticus's son, and so therefore Atticus is gonna fight for him harder than he would anyone else.
Yeah, good point.
I don't think we could do that case.
I mean, if
But
he did.
anyways, yeah. I guess another thing that I was just thinking about, so you know how we were talking about, like Mayo, like didn't want anyone to know because,
Social.
yeah, social
status.
crap, yeah. So I think another reason why maybe the jury picked that all of that was wrong is because of all of the social correct things and everything. So if they knew, like if people knew that Bob Ewell really did do the wrong thing, then he did the wrong thing. Now he's gonna go after a really, really good attorney, and he's psycho, gets drunk all the time, and just running around with knives. I don't think they care if he was dead. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's only if
But-
the jury really made the decision based
Yeah.
on social whatever.
But seeing Tom Robinson play out, they probably would not.
But they probably
Are most of the problems with the egos in this book?
no, I know, but like
Anybody have another question?
I do.
Okay, Elise, let's hear it.
How does the town of Macomb add to the story?
Well, they say it's like a small, quiet town, like nothing really happens there, so it's like, I guess it's a good setting for like something like that to happen. Like Tom Robinson, the quote.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows each other, and
Aiden actually
like you
said
wouldn't
something
expect that to
smart.
happen, but
I mean, but it was bound to happen because there was still racism.
yeah, it was gonna happen, but it's just.
It's just a matter of time.
Mhm.
I mean, and there was really superstitious people, like they believe in a lot of different things.
I have a question.
Okay, Zoe.
So,
The series.
how do you think Boo Radley and Tom Robinson's situations are similar? Who's?
Boo Radley and Tom Robinson.
They're both misunderstood.
Yeah,
It's like Boo Radley has this.
they're both classified as. I'm sorry. You can go. I'll go.
Finish now.
No, you
Jerk.
I want you to.
No, yeah.
Turn the camera on yourself.
No, that's weird.
Please do.
Well, it's like they're both misunderstood. Boo Radley has like some sort of odd, like unknown feeling to him. Well, just like his character's like just seems out of place, and then Tom Robinson's just like he's more of like he's known, but he has his own reasons, and it's like they're sort of the same but different.
What I was gonna say was they're both classified as like Boo is considered like insane and like no one wants anybody to go by him. Like they think the entire estate there is like messed up, so they don't let anyone go there. And that's similar to Tom Robinson. Like no one wants anything to do with them usually, except for the non-racist like Atticus.
They're both outsiders.
Yeah, outsiders. That's a great word to classify them as. They're misunderstood, like Ernesto said, and yeah,
I think they're both victims of judgment.
yeah, judgment and prejudice. Are you gonna add to that or no?
Yeah, for sure. Well, they both like. So people just think of Boo as like someone who's bad and they need to stay away, but I mean, no one really knows him obviously because they all stay away from him. And Tom Robinson is kind of the same way, I guess, because people are just like quicker to judge him when he does something or when something's done against him, just because of his race. And so in a way, they're both like they have less going for them, I guess, than other people.
I think they're both also like wrongly accused. Like Tom Robinson, like he didn't like do anything to Mayella, and also like Boo, like everyone thinks he's like an awful person, like and he's like really weird and everything, but then he ends up like saving the day. So
They're like believing the gossip that everybody tells them about. So with the tight-knit community that we brought up earlier, people are gonna believe each other more. So if like one person gets the truth wrong, that leads to messed up truth, and then that leads to prejudice and social.
there you go.
Yeah. Never mind about that social part. I don't know where I was going with that.
Anybody have
Yeah.
another question?
Well, I have a question that we kind of touched on earlier. How Atticus like rose his children to like do the right thing to affect their worldview, if that makes sense?
Well, it kind of gives them like a sense of innocence that they don't know the hardships of the world.
How many times have we said innocence in this, okay?
It's very important. Valid theme.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like-
it is.
Let's discuss this like now. What does innocence? How does like the innocence of the people inside the book tie into like their society?
Or the other.
Don't really talk about that. But how innocence connects to the book is. Never mind. I lost it.
All right, Jabriziak.
Shows how
Bring this stuff,
everyone's
ladies and gentlemen.
world, from their views, they have. I'm gonna say this. Their innocent little world, okay, is now basically being shattered because they're seeing how the world actually works. They're no longer within their like perfect world.
So their little bubble, basically.
Yeah, their little bubble is burst. They're seeing the evil. They're seeing how the world actually works, and it's. So yes, innocence, I guess, does play a good role in this book, yes. But also, innocence does go away after a certain point.
A quote that goes along with that is the one I used before on 284. I got it right this time.
We're wrapping up. We're coming back in
But-
because you gotta do your grade justification. So when Ryan's
It's,
done, bring it back in, okay?
The quote, like I said earlier, it ain't right, Atticus said Jem. Like that's showing his innocence going away, that Tom Robinson was wrongfully convicted, and Jem thought, oh, we set up a good argument that showed evidence that he didn't do anything, that he believed that Tom Robinson would be not convicted, but that showed that that he found out that the truth is that the world sucks. And it's not fair or right or anything that people believe anything that they hear.
The world ain't fair.
So